Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a little while since a video. Quick question for you this morning. Do you like putting together jigsaw puzzles? Well, me not so much either. But do you like watching time-lapse videos of somebody else putting together jigsaw puzzles? Well, maybe that's a little bit more enjoyable. So in our next unit, we'll not be putting together a jigsaw puzzle like this, but we will be looking at the United States and how the United States went from its original 13 colonies to the United States that we know and love today. And it actually was a lot like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. So in this video, I'd like to introduce the unit a little bit, talk about maybe some of the key vocabulary, some of the key concepts that we're going to address in this unit, and start to put together the jigsaw puzzle of the United States. So, when the United States was formed, this was it. What you see in red, and some of the borders weren't even that far to the west, that was the United States. There were only about 2.5 million people living in the United States. To give you some comparison, today in New York City, just in New York City, there's over 8 million people. In America total, there's about 330 million people now. If I were to grow as much as the United States did, I would be about 737 feet tall, which is about half the size of the Empire State Building. Probably still would lose at basketball, but anyway. Now, America didn't get that big overnight. It did take some time. But as more and more people started to come to America in the late 1700s and the early 1800s, it started to get a little bit more crowded, and people started to look for a little bit of elbow room.
Oh, everybody needs some elbow, needs a little elbow room. That's how it was in the early days of the USA. The people kept coming to settle, though the East was the only place there was to go. The president was Thomas Jefferson. He made a deal with Napoleon. How'd you like to sell a mile or two?
Or 3 or 100 or 1,000.
And so in 1803 the Louisiana Territory was sold to us without a fuss and gave us lots of elbow room. Oh, elbow room.
So America getting some elbow room is really going to be the focus of this unit. So we are going to give somewhat of a fancy name to this idea that America wanted more elbow room or wanted to expand, and we're going to call it Manifest Destiny. Very fun word to say. That's actually 2 words, Mr. Stern. All right, stop being so picky. Anyway, Manifest Destiny was a belief of a lot of the people living in America, and it was really a belief that it was America's God-given right to settle all the land from the Atlantic all the way to the Pacific.
The way was opened up for folks with bravery. There were plenty of fights to win land rights, but the West was meant to be. It was a manifest destiny.
Now, one thing to remember is that as America was moving west, it's not like the land was empty. There were plenty of animals, plenty of people living there. And those are some of the issues we're going to talk about in this unit. Each puzzle piece of America really has its own story. Each of those stories had some very interesting characters.
The trappers, traders, and the peddlers, the politicians and the settlers, they got there by any way they could. The gold rush trampled down the wilderness, the railroads spread across from east to west, and soon the rest was opened up for good.
And that's a quick intro to Manifest Destiny. Now, today's classwork, you'll be taking a little bit of a look at the vocabulary for the unit, and then also doing a little work with a map, the jigsaw puzzle, starting to put that together. Remember, do your best to get your work in on time. Mr. Reef and I are always here to answer questions if you'd like to email us. We're going to hold off on the whole class Zoom sessions for right now, but we may be contacting some of you individually, do some smaller group sessions if people need a little bit of extra help. So good luck as you start your study of Manifest Destiny, and we'll leave you with a joke today. There were 2 fish in a tank. One turned to the other and said, "How do you drive this thing?" Think about it. Have a great day, everybody.